So recently I was playing through Superhot like I usually do every now and then, when I realized something about the story. Let me explain. So when playing the story of Superhot, the game gives you these messages and clues throughout the story. Clues like, mind is software. And one of the more disturbing ones, we are watching, while you see yourself in the game being watched by someone. Now at first I thought this didn't really mean anything other than the story, but after thinking about it for a while and shining some of these clues in another light, I realized the game might be trying to give me, the player, a message so dark it left me thinking for hours on what it could mean. You see, Superhot isn't just a silly game where time only moves when you move. It's a voice trying to tell you a message that most players miss when playing the game. So in this video, I'm going to be analyzing the story of the game and explaining exactly what this hidden message is and what it actually means. So when you start a normal Superhot playthrough, you are playing as someone who gets a pirated copy of a game called Superhot.exe. And at first we see no point in the game, no plot, no reason for anything, just shooting a bunch of red guys. But the player keeps playing. He's hooked, but the player doesn't even realize that yet. One of your friends who gave you the copy found a new updated version of the game because the older version kept crashing, but it requires a password to play, which the player and his friend find annoying. But somehow the player cracks the password by pure dumb luck, and he enters. But what the player doesn't realize yet is he just signed away his soul. You see, this funny shooter with no plot and no story just took over everything you know and love. But the player doesn't realize that yet, so he keeps playing. And then after finishing a level, this happens. The player then freaks out and texts his friend, but his messages get swapped for something else. The player realizes he can no longer type his own messages to his friends. And this is where the game starts turning around from a silly shooter where you shoot a bunch of red guys to a prison cell. The player gets put in a prison cell and told to watch closely. And well, just take a look at what happens. The game tells you, we are watching you. This is only your body. Your mind is here with us. Superhot.exe then shows the player how he can't leave the game and the game could keep him there forever. The player then gets told to disconnect, in which he fails, but after a while it works. And then this happens. The player apologizes and promises to leave the game, as he literally has no other choice but to leave the game alone. But for some odd reason, the player starts playing the game again, breaking the promise. The player is now officially addicted to the game, and everything seems normal at first. But then the game gives the player a message. You didn't keep your promise. A sense of guilt runs over the player as he gets a chilling message from the game. Pay yourself a visit. We stumble around and there it is. You. The game is trying to give a message here. Player's mind is broken and fighting itself. As you can see, we in the game have no control anymore. The game forces us to do things whether we like it or not, even if that is to hurt yourself. The game wants you to pay for what you have done. Now this is something pretty sinister, since addiction in real life is exactly like how this plays out. Eventually, it just takes over everything until it forces you to suffer your own mistakes. But you can't stop it, as the addiction is forcing you to do those things whether you like it or not. And just like that, the game forces you to hit yourself and pay for coming back. And when you do, you disconnect as if the game actually made someone show up to hurt you, and you get thrown into a message feed. Take a look. The game takes over everything the player can type, even when typing to his own friend, ruining his friendship with his friend. The player is forced to type Superhot and only Superhot. Superhot.exe is taking over your mind, and you can't do anything about it. It's the only thing the player can think about. He begs to be back in the game, and the game says, "As you wish," in return. The player relapses, and return. The game literally makes you walk into a prison cell, literally visualizing the player trapping himself in the system, but the system is in control now. The player doesn't know it, but every move from this point on is planned by the system, even if it feels like you have control. You don't. The system will shape you, the game tells you. The game forces you out as it shows you you are completely hopeless. You can only think about one thing and one thing only. Superhot.exe. You need to repeat it as the game forces you to say it. It reveals a message. The system will set you free. Mind is software. Bodies are disposable. The system is trying to brainwash you into letting the system take control. And shortly after this, the game tells you, you are our tool now. We will use you to destroy the enemy from within. The game tells you to get to work. And eventually, it forces you to destroy a core, possibly telling how we destroy the core of who we are. Everything we knew before is gone. Our friends, our memories, and soon, maybe even our lives. Eventually we get put in a level, and the game forces us to do something that I've never seen any other game do before. You need to shoot yourself to progress the game. You literally can't do anything else except stand there and do it. And eventually, you give in. The silence hits you. You just ended it. Your mind got the better of you. You relapsed, and it shows. You hate it, but love it at the same time. And now everything you knew is all gone. The dark message in this game is very simple. Even when you feel like you have control over something, you don't. Everything that happens will happen. It's just how you handle the situation when it does happen. And that is what shapes how it plays out. The player handled by not listening to the early warning signs and being ignorant, and he suffered the causes. Anyway, hopefully you learned something from this, and thanks for listening to me, app. And if you want more, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps out a lot. And since I'm quite new to these types of videos, let me know what you would want me to change in the next video. And shout out to these random subscribers as always, and see ya.